So many people around this country. Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. Senator, great to see you.
Great to be with you.
So, all right, we've seen presidents go into office with like a honeymoon phase, right? But Donald Trump, it feels different. He is a former president. He's extremely popular, clearly. And it just feels like everything is kind of turning up Trump right now. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think President Trump was honest with the American people during the campaign. I mean, he would do any interview. He traveled wherever. I was with him on a lot of visits. And everywhere you went, there were 20, 30,000, 40,000 people there. In Butler, Pennsylvania, on the return trip, I was with him on Trump Force One. There were 110,000 people there. So I think there's something to be said, Rob, for just being honest with the American people with where you stand. You compare that to what Kamala Harris did. They tried to hide her away. She wasn't a particularly good candidate, but the bigger issue was their policies didn't work, and they didn't resonate with working families. People saw an insecure border. They saw, our energy dominance go away. They saw inflation every week they went to the grocery store. So their policies didn't work, and they had a candidate, of course, that was intimidated to even talk about the issue. So President Trump was very clear with what his agenda was, and you see now early on with these cabinet picks, he's picking reformers. He's picking disruptors who are willing to take on the establishment. That is exactly what the American people want, and that's why those polling numbers reflect it.
Yeah, it's remarkable. Typically, I would expect Democrats to get in Donald Trump's way, but it kind of feels like Republicans in the Senate could make it hard for Donald Trump to get the cabinet that he wants. How concerned are you?
I don't know. I'm not concerned right now. I think that, look, many of them have just been announced. People want to make sure they are able to ask questions, but I'm still very confident that my Republican colleagues understand that President Trump has been given a mandate. He's been given a mandate by the American people. He won all the battleground states. He won the popular vote. He has been given a mandate. And what was that all about? Look, he assembled, he had RFK Jr. with him on the campaign trail. He had Tulsi Gabbard on the campaign trail, a working class, multi-ethnic working class party. Now, our base has been broadened. President Trump has ushered this in. And what the American people have said is, we want you to go do the work. And that reform that needs to happen doesn't just happen with the Senate majority or the House majority. It has to happen within the inside of the administrative state. So those reformers that he's picking right now, they deserve an opportunity to go deliver on the inside. And that's why I think ultimately he's going to be successful with these picks.
Good. Have you spoken to many of your colleagues?
Yeah, I think, look, I'm trying to remember where we're at right now. When we went back 10 days ago, there was a lot of discussion about President Trump gave us this opportunity by winning. All our candidates who won, right. President Trump was a benefit to them, right? And so everybody's riding on the coattails of President Trump to get to 53 in the Senate and keep the House majority. I think my colleagues are very well aware of that. And I think he's going to be given broad discretion on these picks as people that he wants to come into these jobs, and we need to support that effort.
Okay, last week, Matt Gaetz, before he got out of the running for Attorney General, he was like radioactive on Capitol Hill. And I think he did the right thing. I think he did something that's very uncommon in politics. I think he did what was brave and best for the incoming administration. Here's a name, Pete Hegseth, nominated to be Defense Secretary. I'm going to read a couple names, senators, your colleagues, Republicans. Again, I'm not talking about Democrats. Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Senator Cassidy, and Joni Ernst. How concerned are you that they might not vote for somebody like Pete Hegseth?
Well, I don't want to speak for them, but I think that given the opportunity to meet with Pete Hegseth, I think they're going to be impressed. I've had a conversation. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. I think Pete is going to be great, and here's why. One is he doesn't come from the typical Washington cocktail party circuit. I view that as a positive. We need someone to come into the Pentagon. There's a lot of problems to fix. One, we have a procurement system that stifles innovation. That needs to change. Also, this obsession with DEI is killing recruiting. Dividing our military by race is antithetical to this meritocracy that the military's always been known for. I think that and a focus on China is what Pete Hegseth brings to the table. So again, I think Pete Hegseth's nomination is in line with what President Trump ran on, which is people are tired of business as usual in Washington. Yeah. We're going to take on permanent Washington with people who buy into this vision of reform.
Senator, I'm not sure if you've heard this news yet. Best news I've heard all day. We've got about 30 seconds. Politico reporting that Kamala Harris, she's got two plans right now. She's either going to run for governor of California in 2026. Nixon tried to do that after he lost to Kennedy in 1960, or run for the White House again in 2028. I'm wondering, just politically speaking, do you think the Democrats go for that, or does her party run from her? Because I would run for the hills from Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I'm probably the wrong guy to ask, but I think that one of her biggest problems is that in politics, at least this is my perspective, the most important currency you have with voters is authenticity, right? People can spot a phony, and they're not gonna vote for a phony. And I think that's Kamala Harris's biggest problem. There was nothing genuine or authentic about her candidacy, and it's probably why she never got to Iowa in 2020, and that's probably why she lost this race. And President Trump made promises before he delivered. He talked very plainly on the campaign trail. I think he's going to deliver again.
Eric Schmitt, enjoy having you on. Great to see you. Thank you, Senator.
All right, take care.